welcome to the 138th episode of Movie and TV Talk. On this episode, I'm going to be discussing and giving my thoughts on Rebel Ridge. Let's get into it. As usual, I'm going to start with a brief summary of the plot of the movie. The movie starts with our main character, Terry, getting run off the road by cops who do a very not necessary search on him. They come to a bag of about $30,000, in which Terry tells them it's for bailing out his cousin, which is what he was on his way to do. Of course, because Terry's an African-American man, they seize the money on the basis of it being drug money, because the cousin was in for possession. The crux of the movie revolves around Terry attempting to get his money back in enough time before they transfer his cousin. This one lady, Summer, gets involved, even though she makes lots of comments about having a family and not wanting to get involved and not wanting to lose her job, but she gets involved anyway to basically discover that what these cops are doing goes deeper and deeper into corruption. There's a big confrontation at the end between Terry and several of the cops where he does a number on like two of them just by punching them. They get a vehicle and get away. But they use a camera in the cop car to record the police chief shooting their own officer. Eventually, the two of the cops escort our characters with state police on the way. Terry gets Summer to a hospital, and then he takes the DVR from the cop car, and then the movie just ends. So what did I think of Rebel Ridge? Well, the only reason I watched this is because of a YouTuber I watch that was talking about some favorite movies from 2024, and this was labeled as an action movie, and I like action movies, and I thought I'd give it a watch. That being said, I think that labeling this movie as an action movie is really not correct. There are like 4, maybe, action moments, but that's kind of it. But I think there is a bigger picture going on here. There are elements of the movie that definitely reflects on real life when you think about it, and that's something that some people might not like to see in a movie. I, however, think it's tastefully done, not shoving it in your face as to the real life implications that they show in the movie. Police abusing their power is a big thing in this movie, and that definitely is something that happens in real life too. Of course, there's an element of how police often unfairly treat black people, which again is something that happens in the real world as well. I think the most interesting aspect of the movie is the character of Terry himself. Something I did not mention in the brief summary is that Terry is a former Marine, and so he has a skill set in the fact that he trains Marines in martial arts, which is something that the police that took his money eventually realized during the probably beginning of the movie. The thing is that while Terry has these skills, you kind of see that he doesn't really want to use them. Terry did not want this to escalate the way that it did, but of course the cops just kept pushing his buttons and making the situation worse. He never actually kills anyone. The most he did was launch a smoke grenade. Or not smoke grenade, it was actually tear gas from a grenade launcher. Even when you think he shoots someone with a shotgun, it was a beanbag round. Like, he punches a few cops pretty badly, but he doesn't kill them. Terry tries his best to prevent the situation from getting worse, but the cops were not of the same mindset. By the end of the movie, the cops were ready to just light him up and put some bullets in him. I mean, one of the best action moments towards the middle of the movie is one where Terry just kind of cleanly disarms the police chief, makes his way into the police station, and gets his money. That's what happens in the most basic form, but it's a slick scene where, again, no one actually gets killed. For me, going into this movie on the basis of it being an action movie, towards the end I was fully ready for Terry to get, like, as many guns as he could and walk up to the police station and just blow everyone away and take his money and that be the end of it. But he doesn't do that, so I guess in a way the movie subverted my expectations. The element of realism here on display is very interesting. I will admit that I did not really understand the purpose of the character of Summer. She goes along with Terry, but I don't get why. She's got a daughter that is depending on her, and she knows that helping Terry would not be great for her, yet she does it anyway. There was also a guy she goes to towards the end of the movie that just didn't want to know her situation, so like, why are we visiting this character? What was his purpose? Plus, the way the movie just abruptly ends really feeds into me not understanding the purpose of Summer as a character. Speaking of the end of the movie, what the fuck was that ending? Terry takes the police car, records the police chief shooting them, drives off, 2 other cop cars end up escorting them. Suddenly we're at a hospital, Summer's getting wheeled off to get help, Terry takes the police car's DVR out as the other cops show up, and then Terry just kind of sits down in the hospital and that's it. What the hell was that? What did he do with the DVR? Does Terry ever get his money? What did he do with the DVR? Did Terry ever get his money? Does he ever bail his cousin out? There's no wrap-up to Summer as a character either. She just gets help in the hospital, but like, what about after that? Does she get in legal trouble from helping Terry? The ending just raises more questions and doesn't really do the characters justice, as we don't get to see the end to either character's arc. But overall, I think it's good that this is a Netflix movie. I definitely would not see this kind of movie in the theater. Rebel Ridge is an average but enjoyable movie. That's going to do it for this episode, so if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.